Ngekusebenzisana nahulumende welive laseSwatini iphalamendeni kodwa umsebenzi wokuqinisekisa ukuthi live laseSwatini liyathuthuka kushaywa imithetho letawuqinisekisa ukuthi kude lisiswati lesalila ngemuva edinzabeni dentuthuko. Kodwa lo muhla sekuvusele sikwemukele ehlelweni Tasephalamende kunguye lesibili ebusuku. Siyathemba ngwane ukuthi impela somvulo sibuya kuye bekuphethe kahle nalomuhla solo ufuthumele ngoba phela naku kuyabanza. Libito lami ngingisamkelisiwe ngwakakhoza. Kanti kona lo muhle lomhla nizaba lesikuphasele tona njengenhlala yenda tithandana nje impela. Kanti nizaba lesewuqala ngayo elangeni lomuhla sawutinda la sikhona khona endlini yabaye esikhulu lapho khona induna yetiko letemafa umhlonishwa neRickenback atfula endlini lehloniphekile umbiko ukuthi njengato tincomo tesibaya njengoba sive sancoma ukuthi siyafisa ukuthi emaphakelo elive sakaqale khona etinkundleni sakaqale khona emimangweni ngaphambi kokuthi aphasiswe endlini lehloniphekile. Lesikhathi manje ke savele singene khona endlini yabaye esikhulu sivethi kulandela kwethulwa kwalombiko kwayo induna yetiko letemafa emalunga endlini lehloniphekile yabaye esikhulu aphathisa athini kulolu tiko.
Ngiyabonga Mr Speaker. Sibonga nasendvuneni ka finance Mr Speaker. Ngale statement Mr Speaker lesinikezwe nasiphalamende. Lesenda lokuthi sibone lokuthi uhulumende ucabangani ubhekephi. Ngifuna ukudumisa khona nje Mr Speaker ngifuna ukudumisa lo ukuthi indvuna ya finance njengawo onke ama ministers Mr Speaker lanika umthwalo ukuthi ashintshe lokuphila kwalamaswati bengilokungcono. Ikukhanze kufanele ukuthi vele abe khona ama reforms in terms of indlela lesibudget ngayo Mr Speaker. Sazekudumisa kakhulu Mr Speaker lokho after sibaya sikhuluma Mr Speaker uyasho la kule statement lokuthi konke lokula kwendako Mr Speaker ukuthathela esibayeni lokuthi sibaya sakhuluma akhulume emaswati lokuthi afise ukuthi emaphakelo elive asukele kulabantu. Mr Speaker ke angisho lokho ukuthi nathi silitiko inkundla vele indvuna finance sibambisene sisebenta nayo kulomsebenzi lapho kwaze sicalile nje ukuthi sibone bobabe betikhulu nebantu abenkosi ukuthi sibachazele ngalendzaba le nekucela ama advices kubo lokuthi singayibamba kanjani Mr Speaker. Ukugcizelela nje Mr Speaker lokuthi njengaloku sihamba ke ama stakeholders Mr Speaker neParliament isekhathi Mr Speaker nayo sitayibona inema councils ayo. Lokukhulu kakhulu Mr Speaker vele akusiko loku raise ama expectations lokuthi sesiyawuthi sifaka ini sesibala imigwaco sibala ini. Lokukhulu nje nokuthi sibukisane bahlonishwa lo ukuthi vele singakwenda kanjani le budget lokuthi sukele kubantu singakwenda kanjani kuze kuthi egcini kwakhona mase siqala singena kulo lomgwaco Mr Speaker bese vele sekuyasebenzeka Mr Speaker nalokuthi ke Mr Speaker kuyasisita ke senzelitiko inkundla lokuthi acayile le process Mr Finance ngalesikhathi ngoba vele sinemithetho lesitanawo eParliament we local government Mr Speaker lo mthetho leyo vele ukhuthita kakhulu lokuthi labantu lephasi abati decide lokuthi batawusebenza kanjani batawubudgeta kanjani babese bayisenza njani le mali Mr Speaker ama priorities batendele Mr Speaker ngalawo magama Mr Speaker nje kubonga indvuna ka finance nekusho sevele sinayo sayisupporta nePBC yonke nje Mr Speaker ematiko lamanye latsinzekako la economic planning nelitiko la public service levele sobambe kanye lo msebenzi Mr Speaker kwenda vele ukuthi kube lula but nje angisho Mr Speaker lokuthi emaswati they are very excited Mr Speaker. Ane nje kuvala exercise ayicale Mr Finance tinqodi ngiyathi ingenile and bayasho lo ukuthi le parliament lena ngathi kenyalo ngikhathi bamba umgwaco lo ofuna lamaswati Mr Speaker ukuthi ishayela tanda nje iParliament lo ukuthi vele sibambe yona Mr Speaker sicela na finance usivele ayichubeke masinyane bese sekubuya le final nazana ke approach lo ukuthi kwenta kanjani Mr Speaker ngiyabonga.
Sibonga nduna lehloniphekile litiko la kaTinkundla and thank you for keeping the time. Umhlonishwa wasendonjeni.
Angibonge Mr Speaker. Kungilokuhle lokuthi lokumele kusenjetwe live usuke phansi kulabantu. Manje ke na ubuka la kule statement kukhona lokukhona lokuthi kusena 2 years wonke we consultation. Lokho sina ubuka le term yale parliament le nenciye kuyothi kuyokucala kungena lokudzinga nglabantu ukhanze ukuthi seyivele iphelile singakhuthata lokuthi manje phela kushakutelwe lolo hlangothi ngithanze kunaka nalapha egcineni lapha nawusuka ku the last 2 paragraphs shows kule 3 nawusuka le phansi kunemucu lokhona lapha lohambisana nale mihlangano manje akucaci lokuthi lokuhambisana lemhlangano yini letawo ikulenza ba ama consultations letingundleni mhlawumbe kube negalujika kwalokunye lapha singathanda lokuthi mhlawumbe induna ekunake lokho singabe kunani lelihambisana nalemhlangano. Siyabonga kakhulu Mr Speaker.
Sibonga kakhulu Mhlonishwa Ndwanjeni, Mhlonishwa DS.
Siyabonga Mhlonishwa Speaker, sibonga na senduneni. Kubuda nje Speaker, uthi makacabanga Minister Finance lekungena agijimisa lenzaba le. Kuthi ungabe iachievable in leliphupho leli. Maybe in his lifetime. Hayi kule term, in his lifetime. Cabanga ukuthi kutawende ngama yangithusa Mhlonishwa Speaker wabhala nalapha ukuthi bantu they'll be prompted ukuthi bese basivele basubmit i-budget. So lama expectations atabalethu kanti siyalathi live lethu ukuthi lidlalela kuphi i-budget yalo ngeminyaka. Mawungathi nje vele sale icala kubantu yenyuka iba from bottom up udathola ukuthi ifika kubo 70 billion. So nako nje la ngisaba khona uvama kuba honest ke minister ngicela nje i-honesty kulenzaba lena ukuthi in as much as yakhulunywa esibayeni but is it attainable? Emavencumbi Speaker a derive income from taxes in most regional countries kanjalo. Sekungaba kucheka nje ukuthi ngabe bese ba benchmarkile yini kubuka ukuthi lamanye emave enda kanjani ukuze sifike kule liphupho lelo. Ilapho nje ikakhulu yami Speaker ukuthi ungabe lama expectations leswa creator mangabe akusendeki in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Ilapho nje kakhulu yona it's a good cause kepha nje kuyi-attain Mhlonishwa Speaker and siyadada ukuthi i-population yethu idlalela la ku 1.2 million. Lokuye lokwenda ema-GDPs emave akhuphuke ukuthi bane population lebonakalako. Siyabonga.
Mhlonishwa Deputy Speaker siyabonga kakhulu. Mhlonishwa induna yaka Public Service.
Ngibonge Mhlonishwa Speaker. Honorable Speaker, lona ngumsebenzi lomuhle ngicishe ngile etigodzini ngibe khona kamanzini ngaba khona kahoho angakhona kuya eshiselweni ngicabanga ukuthi ngifuna thena elibombo ngicabanga ukuthi setawe eshiselweni la sitawuphethela khona lo msebenzi bobabe boshifu bantu abenkosi nawo wonke nje amabandla lesadibana nawo kuveta ukuthi lokumsebenzi lona bawuthakasela bayasho bathi ke nangohulumende wetenkundla lokugijima le etinkundleni achaze ukuthi yini budget uchaze nokuthi le envelope yethu ingakanani Speaker umthamo wokuthi singathatha ama projects siwasebente umthamo longakanani because Speaker lo bekwenteka bekuthi nje ungafuna umgwaqo iphi budget akukhishwe le budget phela kwambe kuyobhadalwa kungaba nesehlakalo lesikhona ibudget ayiphumi imali incumbe evela kepha ke lokufundzisa kabanti ngebudget kabanti ngekutholakala kwetimali tahulumende kuyivulile ingqondo esiveni semaswati ekutheni vele uhulumende unemthamo longakanani hulumende yini la ngakhona kuyenda nabathi imali kusede basuke basho ukuthini kwachazeka nokuthi imali Speaker atifiki tonke kanye ngobe bekunalomcabango ukuthi nje ungathiwa budget seyiphasile imali seyincumbi sokungentiwa noma ngayini kepha ke sabenta aba understand ukuthi imali tifika kancane kuye ngokuthi sikwelekele okungakanani bese ke sesiyawenda lawo ma projects kungako nje ibudget ireleasewa quarterly sengithi ke lo msebenzi lona awu sibonga ingwenyama sibonga sive semaswati esibayeni lesakubeka kwacaca lokuthi asiyele kubantu bese ke ngibonga Minister Finance naleli thimba ke lahamba nalo ekutheni vele ke babe sibonelo bayivelele ngaphandle yokuchazela emaswati sicabanga ukuthi lokunengi lobe kusikhalwe emaswatini itolo ngeke kusaba sikhalo lamhla. Cha siyabonga.
Siyabonga nduna lehloniphekile. Umhlonishwa wakalobamba.
Mhlonishwa Speaker, ngicabanga ukuthi ngicela ukuthi emalungeni eParliament siyindlu nje sihlangene siphelele. Ase sinike indvuna lelithuba. Seyihambe ikwende lokho. Kungabe in an instant kokuthi sonke isikhathi sibeka inkinga netinkabekelwane lapha nalapha. Ase sinike nje indvuna Mr Speaker ihambe isebente lite Mr Speaker ngidawu luleke emalungeni. Emalunga singafabricate kakhulu. Asimnike minister ahamba yotama lokho ukuthi who will do it there utawutana lama experts akhe la tawenda le industry sitawenda naye. Nalokuthi ke usetasibona nathi. Zota ukhanza uthi ke sesifabricate kakhulu ngicela lithuba nje sinike minister ihambe yende bahlonishwa bami ngiyabona kona ukuthi niyayijabulela but iqiniso niyalati nine qhubeka anike but asimnike minister ngicela kugcina lapho ngiyabonga mhlonishwa Speaker.
Sibonga kakhulu umhlonishwa wakalobamba kuthi kwenisobala tibahlonishwa. Siyabonga mhlonishwa waletu lelibonjeni elikongolweni.
Siyabonga mhlonishwa Speaker. Mhlonishwa Speaker, lenzaba yokucala ibudget from le phansi uyetulo. Sive sijabulela kakhulu. Thina nje namuhla ema officials, Minister of Tingundla and Administration, now ema officials aga Economic and Planning na Minister of Finance bebale stake engundleni yaselikongolweni. Basibithe sonke silibonga sinemahlonishwa. Labo buqopho nabetindvuna letingundla they were so excited ukuthi nango ke uhulumende wetingundla because now le input ye budget seyitawuqala kuphi kulabanikati labathela labafaka le mali kuze ukuthi uma live lisebenzela bose cha ngithi lesafaka le budget asengibekise nje Mr Speaker but hey wena waselikongolweni lenzaba yakho yokwakha institution of higher institution elikongolweni elibonjeni le science and technology seyitawuqala le elibonjeni ikhuphuke yekuphi ku budgeting uyathi bafaka inkundla uthi sebenza njani. Thanks very much Mr Minister of Finance. My last question nje ukuthi sengibuthi question ngenyalo when do you intend vele ukuthi le budget itawuqala isebenzele lena letaba submitwe ngulabantu at grassroots level from the bottom to the top embabane. Thank you.
Ngiyabonga Honorable Speaker and ngibonge na indvuna for the statement sayo. Minister appear cited the legal framework that backs the budget ayise ebantwini, but he has excluded the constitution, how it guides this process. Because the definition itself in the constitution, the system of government, backs this process. And I'm happy, Honorable Speaker, ukuthi Minister, we actually they won't be raising expectations and making empty promises when they go to the people. But I'm afraid, by default, the promises will, the expectations will be raised. And how will the minister then avoid this process being just a rubber stamp process and meant to just tick a box, but there's no meaningful contribution. Just to notify them, if budget so, because now majority of us are new. After budget, they were left confused because they thought budget is mali. So the people will be in the same quagmire as we were. Then they expect everything to be done. Yes, we are optimistic, we are positive with this process will work out, but we look forward to how it will work out. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Sibonge kakhulu mhlonishwa wasembabane East, mhlonishwa wasentondozo.
Sibonge ku minister Sibonge kakhulu umcondzisi wethu inkulumo ukuthi umsebenzi omhle kangaka bowungaqala vele kubantu. Kepha ke vele it's a concern mhlonishwa lo ukuthi mhlonishwa speaker lo ukuthi ngaba sidubula itinyawo yini ngekuthi sesiyile siveni siyabonga kona ukahle umcondzisi kepha ke asitishayini lunyawo ngoba phela umuntu lekhaya umcondzisi wethu inkulumo na uthi nje ndakupha kudla uba nale problem singabe kangakanani ngoba ngilambile so now uthi ke manje ibudget itakucala kuwe wena muntu usho ukuthi konke lo takwenda noma ke lo takucela sengidawuhamba mina ngiyokwenda ngingihulumende then labantu ke sesibuyela thina singamalungu eParliament emcondzisi wethu inkulumo start khanza sesilimala lemuva ukuthi thina sasho ukuthi sicela sikube neblohola sasho thina ukuthi akube nanakula and siyathela Tabe sothini minister lapho umcondzisi wethu inkulumo lokusho ukuthi thina nabacetha nje sesiya implementa thina singihulumende ngileyo nje umcondzisi wethu inkulumo la ngiyesaba khona yona it's a good thing inhle I thank you Mr Speaker.
Sibonge mhlonishwa waseNtondozi, umhlonishwa waseDokotweni.
Angibonge Honorable Speaker. Siba seDokotweni sakhethwa abantu. Bafika nasesibayeni bakhala. Ukuthi uhulumende kufanele ukuthi ngabe uhamba kanjani. Sibonga ke lokho ukuthi Honorable Speaker sesigijima kulomgogodla lowacelwa abantu esibayeni lokungemaswati. Sibonge ke nelitiko letinkundla libambisene nalalamanye amatiko ukuthi sebaqalile vele bafikile kuyagijinywa kuyale phansi kubantu. Abakucela nje Honorable Speaker lokho ukuthi asithi siyenda le exercise minister le ngoba nje ngibuka la sibuya khona ngiyabona ithathe ema-awala amathathu kwendwa le presentation lengicabanga lokho ukuthi is not enough kona ngeke sikhone lokho ukuthi sikwende konke ngelanga linye kungaba kusho nje ukuthi Honorable Speaker siba seDokotweni siyakusekela lokho ngoba ngumqondo lobuyisela uhulumende ngemgogodla wetinkundla ubuyela le kulabantu batayisho lemivo lengicabanga ukuthi vele nawenda ibudget Honorable Speaker utawuthwana sekwendwe lama submission onke lama stakeholders njalo ku abalile Minister of Finance ukuthi kutahamba kuthintwelana nala utaseke sekuyakhona ke kuhlanganiswa kubukwe lokho ukuthi nguphi lokutawu khona ukuthi kwendeke nguphi lokho sekubukwe netimali ukuthi itimali deliver time kanjani kodwa nje lokho kungumlando Honorable Speaker ukuthi sithathe uhulumende kuyiwe kubantu kuyahlalwa phasi asethembe ke Honorable Speaker lokho ukuthi kuthathe sekwendekile lokho achubekela amaswati afundziswe noma le budget seyiphasisiwe lokho ukuthi uma kuphinze kubuywa kwentwa kanjani ngoba kwanyalo vele lamaswati kuseyinto yokucala lokuthi afake imivo ku budget yelive asiqhubekeni kungabe ngilaka finance kuphela Honorable Speaker tonke tindvuna siyacela lokho ukuthi kugijinywe kubanjiswane ngiyabonga.
Sibonge kakhulu mhlonishwa waseDokotweni, mhlonishwa induna yaka education.
Angibonge Speaker. Mina nje Speaker ngilofaka kuthatha ukuthi uzophumelele ufuna ube nalomdlandla ube positive singabi ne weakness ngiyabonga lokuthi sesibayeni sesiyimplementa lokhu kutamnika finance ukuva lokhu ukuva kumalungu eParliament so ukuva ke bantu ukuthi bantu bathini kutamnika lesithombe as much as ngeke kuphelele konke kepha na kutamnika lesithombe ukuthi athitene emaswati esibayeni bathinta abantu Honorable Speaker ngiyamthemba finance ngimbonile uyalifaka igalelo ecabinet kufanele supportane sibe yi-team live lengonyama litawuhluma speaker lokhu nje ngiyajabula mina ukuthi nalabantu sesiyabafaka angagcina lokuvakala amalungu eParliament evele ku grassroots sibuye ke sente iplan ungusobabhizinisi wona speaker wena ungusobabhizinisi waplana wabona imali ungayifuna kuphi uqhubeka usebenza singakhali ukuthi nangabe senda investment siya investor ngazi ukuthi simosha imali nasakhatha security tsite we're not wasting money we are stimulating the economy because lokho ngikulokuvusa lo mnotho. I thank you speaker.
Sibonga induna ehloniphekile yelitiko laka education umhlonishwa wasenhlambeni.
Cha siyabonga mcondzisi. Sibonge nasenduneni statement mcondzisi. Umuntu nje kwekucala nangisifundza le statement sakhe. Mina ngwasenhlambeni mcondzisi sibe nako ukumisleada kancane ngekuthi uthi is taking the budget to the people. But now ufunza lengendasi uphinze uthi at this stage the consultations are not for collecting submissions. So kimi ke ngibese sengiba nako loku limala ngwasenhlambeni lokuthi sithini kanti nasithi we are taking the budget to the people. But sisinasifika kulabantu asilale lutho labatafe bakusho for a period of 2 years. So kimi kutenda sa rubber stamping kulokuthi lesive sathi ayiye ku grassroots ikhuphuke iye eDulu. So ngikolo lokuniketa inkinga nangesifundza le statement mcondzisi sithi siyawubafundzisa sibende ukuthi ba appreciate ukuthi yini le budget kude lapho sikhuluma khona ukuthi we are going to take any submissions from the people and come and implement. Ngikhanza ukuthi mcondzisi vele ku stimulate lama expectations ku raise ama expectations ukuthi nakuthiwa njena budget to the people ngawufike mina ngisho ukuthi sishoda ngani lekithi singacala ngani angikusho mcondzisi ukuthi thina nje lekithi sine strategic development plan lesayenda seyinkundla le strategic development plan kube siyatendela besingafika naso etikweni sithi na ukuthi nelese sikubonile ukuthi singakusebenta sikusebenta sibasenhlambeni sicale la siye la kube into le kanjalo kumbe bese siyakusubmita kumbe kubo laba siplanela ibudget kubonakala ukuthi nakutholakala imali ke kusetshenzwa kanjani kunenge mcondzisi ngenxa yesikhathi ngicela ukugcina lapho.
Sibonge mhlonishwa wasenhlambeni umhlonishwa mntwana enkosi Lindani.
Sibonga kakhulu mcondzisi. Cha mcondzisi sitasidumise nathi statement sakhe Minister Finance lesaba sihle kakhulu sidumise letindvuna la sebenzisana nato mcondzisi. Lokhu umcondzisi kuyindvo lenhle kakhulu lokuthi siParliamente siyalalela ukuthi sive sathini esibayeni nemakhosi lokho yindvo lesi encourage kakhulu mcondzisi ukuthi sivele sichubeke sibambe ngaleyo ndlela leyo. Uhle mcondzisi ukuthi imisebenzi lenjengale ifaka sive ekhathi njengoba nebahlonishwa labanye bachazile nje ukuthi kufuneka kwendeke kanjani kutawiwa lena esiveni kuhle lokuthi sive sivele sibe ingcenye yalomsebenzi lo njengalo nabo batokwati ukuthi eParliamente nengosi nemakhosi athi useParliamente sathuma abantu labalalelako ukuthi akaniketho lithuba indvuna lehloniphekile ukuthi iwento lomsebenzi nangabe tikhona tiphosise endleleni sidawuhamba siParliamente kubonakala ukuthi kucoleka kanjani yebhana lelithuba akaniketho kudumisa nje kakhulu umcondzisi umsebenzi lomuhle lo njengalo nawo lo tawuvela sithi esiveni njengoba nalabanye bahlonishwa netindvuthi kufuna kube nemisebenzi lemikhulu letawustimulate i-economic growth eveni imisebenzi letawuvela ibonakale ukuthi lo msebenzi lona ke ngiloshintsha i-landscape eveni ngiloshintsha tindvo inqumbi tshintshe netimpilo temaswati kudumisa nje emqondisi le exercise lena naso le statement nekuthi sitawubasekela basawenda lo msebenzi lona sibabambise ngayo yonke indlela. Siyabonga kakhulu umqondisi.
Sibonge mntwana Nkosi, ucisha mntwana Nkosi. Siyabonga kakhulu mntwana Nkosi.
Siyabonga le statement siyakhombisa lokuthi kuhle ukuthi kuyayiwa lekulabantu. Kodwa ngiyakholelwa lokuthi le call yalokuthi le budget iye kubantu beyingekho kakhulu lesidingo vele lesiveni ukuthi abayadi yini ibudget, but beyisekuthaneni bafuna kufaka imivo yabo. Ngiko ke ngitawusekela nje labanye bahlonishwa ababekile ukuthi ungathi vele isendiwa kungede kwamela lokuthi kuze kuphele 2 years lo saqala lamaswati afake imivo yawo. Kukahle nasafundiswe but lokuthi asho ngoba bona ngibona bakulambele kakhulu more than lokuthi bacocele ukuthi iba kanje. They wanted to have an input more than listening. Bese ngithi Mr Speaker siyacela nekuthi ke kuhle kuyo Eswatini ungathi nelivi lensha lingevakala liyavama kusalela emuva ngoba ngiyo kakhulu lete lekhungethwe nangileti nganje kusolakala umsebenzi scholarship nako konke ungathi lingagcina livakele. Kwesibili ngilenzaba ukuthi ungathi lamaswati masekwendeka ngoba kuthiwa nje 2 years anganikeka kungamemeteleka ngesikhathi kungasakateka ngesikhathi indlela nje bekusakadwa ngayo indzaba yelikhetho every corner of the town bokhanza khulunywa ukuthi kuyakhethwa kanjalo kanje ngathi kungateka ngoba emuva 2005 ngibekise bekuna CRC Constitutional Review Commission ahambe enkundleni bekuyinto lenhle kodwa sola khona emaswati namhlanje yasitshelekanga manje seputa kuva kangakufaka lokho ungathi ke makwendiwa lokhu bangatsheleka vele lamaswati kunganoba nemivuka lesingayidzingi kwegcina Mr Speaker yindzaba ukuthi phela mase kwendiwe ke sekugoqodwa ke manje sekuyofakwa le bhodini ungathi kungabiyela ipoti khona le maswatini emuva letawachazela ukuthi wo sinivile nonke nisho into letilishumi nambili kodwa vele masibuka ungathi sitawukhona kuna timbili okwamanje to manage lama expectations bangacabanga ngoba sesibatshelile ukuthi ku budget sifuna kube kanje sekutawendeka ibuye le report ithi cha sesinivile consultation stage ayiphelile sesingena ku action ke manje naku okwamanje lokungendeka to manage lama expectations. Siyabonga Mr Speaker.
Sibonge kakhulu umhlonishwa sesithobelweni. Siyabonga umhlonishwa seKhubutha.
Ngiyabonga umcondziso wenkulumo. Mr Speaker, ngithanda kuyibonga inkulumo yayo induna embuso. Ngifisa kwathi kuyo induna ukuthi kule tindzaba letingaka itate kwaleSibayeni bavele banqonota lena kuphela. Baltiko iphi mbambamba loluhla noluhlaka lolungibona lutaba guide live nje ukuthi njengoba Sibaya sakhuluma sathi live alibheke kuphi iple guideline mbamba nje yale live le grand plan lengiyona icishe isiguide sonke from le tindvo leti takhulunywa Sibaya kunewe ukuthi lamhla sitabo sicaphiye ngakunye lelo diko liticaphiyele lokho lekulungelako. Kwegcina Mr Speaker ngaba ukuthi ngibuke kuteke kule exercise ukuthi lokho lesihlale sikuthatha lemivo lesithathwa abahlonishwa lekubantu bete nayo la eParliament kutawuba kanjani lokho akunu contradictor yena lokho naloluhlelo nje lekuma kwemalungu eParliament netindvuna tetinkundla nako konke le exercise ay contradict nayo nyalo. Ngiyabonga Mr Speaker.
Sibonga kakhulu umhlonishwa Khubutha. Cela kunika umhlonishwa wako Mthambama.
Thank you Mr Speaker. Lenzaba yekuthi budget isuke kubantu. Seyinzaba lenzala sibonga ukuthi seyiyafika nyalo itawu implement. Kepha ke nami ngisabuka ngikhanzeke ukuthi hey makathi nje utawu consulta 2 eminyaka ngathi mina kakhulu. Sitabe salo sihleli sigadzile. Bekungaba njani nje siba finyete ngoma sengomnyaka ngoma leminyaka iyahamba ngoOctober nje nyalo uyaphela lo mnyaka weqala mase taphinze sihlalele eminye lemibili seyitaba mningi kakhulu lokunye ke bakushido bahlonishwa but nje ngine concern ukuthi le misebenzi mayisuka kubantu lokusho ukuthi bottom up approach vele batawu expecta lokuningi kulokuningi labata expect abatawubhekana ukuthi le misebenzi yendeke la tinkundleni tawo senginembuto ke mina lothi njoba kuthuthuka kwalo tinkundla akufanani kukhona labanye bebangaboni labanye mababona kunemisebenzi lemihle lemikhulu lekhona etinkundleni tabo kutabe sekuyaconsider yini ukuthi ayi i-development kule nkundla leyisemuva akumane kuphakelwe kakhudlwana. Lokunye ke nguloko ukuthi kusabudget le budget itafe seyicontroleka kuphi yona ngoma phela mayiphinze ibuyela embabane kutabe sekungasesiyo ngoma itawe yetifundzeni sithemba lokho ukuthi kulama consultations bantu batabe ba ready ulalela ukuthi kuthiwani kepha ke siyacela lokuthi ubukwe lokuthi le mfuthuko inganani la nkundleni bese kuyaphakelwa bekunene. Siyabonga lasehlaleni.
Cha sibonga kakhulu Mthambama Mhlonishwawo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Maye muhle lo muvo wekucala lebantfini simikise lolusito lekule bantfu kodwa ngine concern lengicela kukumemisa yona kwekuthi I wish ukuthi lamalanga lo tawasebenzisa nawe yale kubantfu ngathi kungaba malanga la khona even those who are at work bangabe babuyile bangasemakhaya because what normally happens the people laba contributako akusibo bantfu laba on the ground laba understand what is happening in the government sectors uthola kwekuthi uyawukhanza nje kunabogogo nabomkhulu mhlawumbe nangalelo langa bafike ba contribute labakucabanga kokanzi what we need as a country. We need something leta ukhona kwekuthi nayichamuka sibone kwekuthi cha imaswati acontributile and then ema concerns lavakalako. Another concern that I was having beyingile kwekuthi ngabe have we involved officers from the different sectors because I believe kwekuthi they are the people who are on the ground labenda lomsebenzi. You find that in most of these ministries le budget ifika letulu kulalaba letulu lalaba lephansi abayati what is happening as they are the ones labanala ma concerns nalabana ma needs lathi ngileyo ministry. So I concern yami ingathi ngabe ungenda kanjani minister ku eda kwekuthi lo hlelo liba involve nalama officers from the different sectors of the government so that utokhona kwathi kwekuthi ka education ngunaku lokuyi problem vele and try to work around strategies on how to meet the needs of that sector rather than taking lokhanyane uyele kuma regions finding that even the people in the offices are not aware of the shortages and everything that is needed in the office. Bese kwagcina ngingathi nje kuyi comment sort of kwekuthi even us in this parliament we do have a problem with the budget. Singaya kuyabafundisa abantu but we still have a problem ourselves here because ngibuke kubuya kwema reports lama financial reports. Now funza most of these reports akutshela ukuthi imali lenengi nawubuka iya ku administration. Lokho shokwa ukuthi mbambamba sengaqala thina esimaswati ukuthi budget yethu iconzane netidzingo telive. Most of these reports abuya atshengise ukuthi imali lenkulu iphumeya ngale ka administration kana sesicale kubudgeta kahle imali lenkulu ufuna yendelo umsebenzi than the administration part. I thank you.
Sibonge Mhlonishwa Woho, Mhlonishwa Zombotse emuva.
Ngibonge Mr Speaker, sibonge nasenduneni yeTemafa kusethulela statement mayelana nekuthatha ibudget uyimixe kubantu. Do ngiwakazombotse mina ngiva ngathi asikaqali kuyimixa kubantu but kwanyalo siyakhulumisa lama politicians of which kulukhuni ukuthi singathi it's taking the budget to the people mangabe kukanje sisayimixa kuma politicians for now. Kusengakaqali ukuthi mixwe kulabantu labe bakhala lapha esibayeni kusede nje bona lokubagitatako noma lokubajabulisako kwekuthi le budget sebaqale ukuconsultwa noma kuthindwa kuleti indzaba leti kusathinzwa nje ama politician. Ngiyabonga speaker.
Sibonge Mhlonishwa wakaZombotse emuva, Mhlonishwa waseSigwe.
Angibonge Mr Speaker, ngibonge nalethuba lokunika lona kudumisa Mr Speaker ku minister ukuthi aqale lo msebenzi lobaluleke kangaka. Kwami Speaker ngaba nje ukuthi asaqala minister kwenda lo msebenzi ekhambela kuma region noma sive sonke. Akube clear lokuthi lo msebenzi utawuthatha isikhathi lesingaka. Singabeki ukuthi lokwaqala nyalo maybe ku next budget sitabe vele sesitakhela ibudget lesidingo sokuthi kumbe lesive sathi ngale budget kutawusita lokuthi uma silethe inkundleni sithi imali beyon paper ayikho nyalo bakwadi ngoba bona balalela ibudget mayikhulunywa la makuthiwa nje litiko laka West linike 100 million babheke to 100 million ngathi ulasake ngaleso sikhathi ngicabanga ngathi kutasita lokho utayichaza ukuthi le mali mayethulwa kusuke ngekho ukuthi ngakusasa nje mhla ka 1 May seyikhona le mali tawusita-ke la ukuthi sive sicabanga ngithi uma kuthiwa nayibhajethi imali seyikhona ngicabanga ukuthi siyawusekela lo mcondo la ushoko nokuthi-ke leti inkundleni sekutawudingeka phela kube nebantu labati ngokuphatha kwetimali ngoba makude labatawuphatha leti mali noma ngikuphi itawugcina lenye idliwa ngemagundwane umqondo waminister siyawusekela kodwa akafundise ngeqiniso ukuthi imali makwethuka ibudget isuke ingekho ukuthi kusasa kuyawusetshenzwa. Ngiyabonga Mr Speaker.
Sibonge Mhlonishwa Sesikwe, umhlonishwa induna yaka Tourism and Environmental Affairs.
Angibonge Mcondzisi, ngibonge inkulumo ye Minister of Finance nemsebenzi lo wendiwe i-Central Government, ma-Central Government Ministries umathathu. Ngisekela kakhulu lenzaba yokuthi ibudget iye kubantu ikakhulu njenge kokuthi thine vele eMbabane West sesine strategy lesisilonjile sesimele yona ibudget ukuthi isetshenzwe kube bekukunyalo hawu vele besitawugijima luthuli. Mcondzisi wetinkulumo ngisukumele kuveta lokuthi lenzaba yebudget yinzala ilapha kulo decentralization bill le bekade ikhona kule parliament lendlulile la bekade khona inzaba yeku decentralizewa kwebudgeting beyiyakhona kuma regions. So ke lenzaba lena sicela lokuthi ma central government ministries kanye na finance bayisebente nje kakhulu ngoba iappetite vele ngaphandle imile igadzekile lenzaba kakhulu. Nekuveta nje lokuthi isahamba lenzaba iyale ngaphandle sitawucela lo mthetho longuona utawuqukatha lenzaba lena kube nema controls kube nako konke lokungaba khona lokungawo lokhamisana nema controls kulomthetho. Ngivete naloko ukuthi ku decentralize kwe budget kutabe kungaqali ngaloko lokutabe kwendeka. Siyambona RDF is decentralized uniketwa inkundla ngenkundla ukuthi imsebenzise. So ke siyadzinga lokuqinisa wherever la kunema loopholes khona. Siyabonga.
Sibonge induna lehloniphekile yelitiko ka Tourism and Environmental Affairs, induna lehloniphekile yelitiko ka Finance seyinganiketa timpendulo. Ingazama induna nekukushwambakanya lokudzinga ikushwambakanye kungabi like one by one. I think induna iyangiva. Honorable Minister, over to you.
Perfect, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. I agree. To go one by one will take very long. And so for the sake of time, I think I'll just touch here and there. Maybe it's hard. In fact, let me just start to putting this way because someone was even asking, have we benchmarked on this? Honorable Speaker, when it comes to our Tinkundla system, it's unique. It's ours. If someone says to me, Minister, go and work out procurement, I can go and benchmark. Many countries do procurement perfectly. But if one must go and benchmark on our Tinkundla system, there's nowhere to go. It's only our country. So hence, when it comes to Sibaya submissions, when it comes to taking our constitution, when it comes to taking our Tinkundla system and improving on it, that's in our hands here, that's in our hands in the people, that's in our hands at Sibaya. And hence, when it comes to this process, we haven't worked it all out, Honourable Speaker. We've got an instruction from Sibaya. Sibaya has told us we need to make sure, in line with the Constitution, decentralize. We would like the people to have more input in the budget. So right now, what we are trying to do is, we're trying to work that out and to see what it looks. Right now, our best opinion is, let us not come down on the people to say, right, from now on, you will submit like this. We've decided, let's start by saying, number one, 2 processes, and that's why 2 years sounds like a long time, but we felt if it's quicker, Honourable Speaker. So what we decided was let us start the process by number one, making sure people understand the budget, and we think people out there might understand. We believe that there's a deep understanding of what the budget means, because the budget you might think, we need a road here, but we must understand clearly we need 5 billion for the Ministry of Education. We need 3 billion for the Ministry of Health. We need 1.8 billion for whatever. And so we go through the budget. And once people understand, say we've only got so much money, this is already in the budget, we've maybe got so much to work with, I think it'll help people to understand that there's a lot of pressure on the budget and together. So hence education, the budget is critical. Number 2, the process now of how do we get the information from the people into the system. And hence, all we are doing is now is to say that let us go to the people and let us go to the system, and that's why we're starting with more the political, or sorry, our government processes to say, how do we believe we can credibly decentralize this budget process? How can we actually make sure that by the time we are now saying what do the people feel like they need to put into the budget, we're using the proper channels a way that'll actually make sense. And so hence right now, that's why we're saying for 2 years, we believe that we need to use this, let us design the process together of what that looks like to people. And that's why we've given it the time and the engagement to be able to get to that point. As PBC, Minister was spot on, of Public Service. PBC is made up of 3 ministries. And even though we'll be the ones that will be doing the process, it is 100% going through the Minister of Tinkundla. And so the Minister of Tinkundla is the most critical ministry in this process. They are the ones with the decentralization mandate. It is us going through the ministry to be able to do what we're doing here. Otherwise, I think there's been some very good advice, Honourable Speaker, to say let us look at, there's pilots that are being done. I think Manzini North touched on the fact that there were pilots being done. Let's look at those. And this is all the advice that I think we need. Development plans already in place in certain Tinkundla, and even in chieftaincy development plans, we have those. Let us make sure that we take hold of those and have a good look at them. Otherwise, many MPs just appreciated the fact that we're going to give this a good attempt. And again, to say that the budget will be a fully bottom-up budget, it will be unfair to make that statement, Honourable Speaker. I think what we're saying is we're just going to bring balance in. There's going to be a bottom-up approach, but also a top-down approach. Let's just say we're talking of roads. Every Tinkundla, every chieftain is going to say, oh, this road here is the most important. So unfortunately, but if we can't work on that, unfortunately, we do have the Minister of Works does deep studies to see what is the traffic volumes, what's the use of the roads, where's the commerce, the critical areas, and those studies will show us which roads that we need to make sure the budget goes towards. So that education, I think, is critical before we start the process, because as the MPs are very concerned about, and they're correct, if we create an expectation like what you ask for, we're going to deliver for you, we'll be setting ourselves up, and yourselves even as MPs, to actually fail. And so hence it is critical that we make sure we get that understanding right before we start the process. 1 day is not enough, absolutely correct. We do need more time. It will be a process of engagement. 1 day will not be enough. I think the advice to say we need to make sure we get people that are the working class, which sometimes can't be at the normal middle of the day meetings. We need to find a way to bring that in, Honourable Speaker. So hence, I think it's a lot of advice, and we take it all on board, and we thank the MPs for that. Thank you.
Fanele umuhlelo luhlelo Tasephalamende September 12 fokota kakhulu ngwane ehlasana nathi njengoba nathi siyathokoza kakhulu ukuhlasana nawe saphinde sibuyele la endlini yabaye esikhulu lapho khona ilunga lePhalamende lenkundla yaseMayiwane umhlonishwa Sicelo Dlamini asekele ngilelisekela lemcondziso wezinkulumo khona ePhalamende umhlonishwa Madala Mhlanga abhekise khona umbuto kuyindvuna etiko leti-70 tembuso umhlonishwa Mabulala Maseko ukuthi engabe seyini lebambe uhulumende ukuthi abungene abukede isigaba sesibili sawo emaholo adoti 70 tembutho etekuvikela live kakhulukazi labo labasesigabeni letiphansi phecelezi junior security officers kwalemuhla singachitha isikhathi sivele sive kuyona lunga lePhalamende lenkundla yaseMayiwane libeka wona umbuto walo endlini ehloniphekile.
Speaker, sikhuluma na indzaba la. Indzaba Mr. Speaker yema security officers ikakhulanga lamancane lekuthiwa ama-junior officers. Mhlambe angivete speaker ukuthi ngimsebentele hulumende iminyaka lengi-11 ngiliphoyisa. Ngasebenza ngekutikhandla nangekuthembeka. Kwaze kwaba isikhathi lapho livele ngibona ukuthi ngiyasebenza khona la ngiletha lapha eParliament. Security live Speaker is at stake. Why I say so? Kunelinye likhona Speaker kuma junior security officers even. Hulumende kwathi nga 2016 2014 labaphethe lemibutho
bakubona kufanele lokuthi kube ne restructuring process lapho khona imiholo i-alignwa imeter standards akasadak bahlala phasi bapheka speaker bapheka base bayahamba baya kuhulumende bafike bathi kuhulumende sesiphekile nesibuka ukuthi lama salaries alama security officers angalungiswa kanje wakulalela uhulumende wangaleso sikhathi wakwemukela lokwendeka ke speaker kwathi mhla ka7 July 2014 hulumende wakhipha isekula le approve lokho ukuthi cha bongozi lokhu leseni kwendile kukahle nami ngingihulumende ngiyakusekela vele timbasha titfoleni ndawufunza ingcenye yalamanye amagama lakhona kulesekula angeke ngiyifunze yonke. Government has deemed it right to issue these instruments to formally implement the restructuring. Lo ke speaker kusho ukuthi uyavuma uhulumende ukuthi lamaholo alama junior officers kanye nalaba labadzala aphasiswe. Bathi ke laba labadzala no ngekuthi mhlambe uhulumende ude kahle timali sitakwenda lento in phases. Phase 1 ke bahlonishwa kwaba kungukuthi sitawunika le mali from the rank or above the superintendent kuya etulu. Banikana ke speaker le mali. Bakha netikhala letinengi kwaba banengi bo deputy national commissioner of police correctional service kwaba kunengi kwanikwana le mali. Leli gama ke speaker lethi phase 2 njoba uliva lidumile nale speaker nawo bakuhlupha ngalo. Lo phase 2 ke speaker bekufanele kwekuthi nabaqetha asengiphinze ngifunze na ukuthi the second phase shall be implemented subsequent to the implementation of phase 1. Bahlonishwa kwakumele ke kuthi nakuqetha subsequent bahlonishwa usho ukuthi masinyane nje nasicetha lokhu sitabe sesenda now subsequent. And kuneligama lapha speaker lelithi shall is a authoritative auxiliary verb. It carries more power and energy. No, shall, that thing is going to happen, you like it or not. It is not will or may, it shall be implemented subsequently to the implementation of phase 1. Ngesikhathi ke lama junior officers speaker abona leligama lelo ayajabula because ayathi ukuthi lokhu kutawendeka. Lokwalandzela lapho speaker ngala emaphoyiseni kunana into labathi i-force order. I-force order speaker bahlonishwa i-instruction lephuma ku-national commissioner ithi njengoba sekuphumele sekhula lokulandzelako timbasha tenu uyatithola noma kanjani. Yaphuma speaker angene emaphoyisa etikweleti nawe nje speaker uyathi sinakunemali yakho loyiseva kwa out mutual uyathi mhla ka23 tawuphuma uyaqala uyasetha ukuthi ayisebenzisa njani. Angena emaphoyisa angena angithi nje ama security officers angene etikweletini kuze kube namhla speaker 10 years later solo abuka elikhalweni. Kuthi lapha kulesekhula no officer will be deprived of an advantage he or he is entitled to. Junior officers, speaker, have been deprived up to this day. Speaker, ngimekela mbi kwakho namhlanje bahlonishwa bonke nginicela. The last hope for junior officers is this house. Government issued a circular. Is it proper in ukuthi kuphume isekula bese kuba ne defiance to implement that circular? Indzaba speaker ihambe sigaba lesithe kude lofuna kuyiteka. So nginicela bahlonishwa security officers akhala tinyembeti la ngaphandle. How can we be led and be protected by a troop of angry people? You may see them saluting all of you here, but they are angry. You may see them laughing at you, but they are not happy at all. Everywhere you go, they are not happy, Speaker. So I am here to plead on their behalf on this honorable house. Please do them a favor. Please do them a favor and help them sort this issue that has been there for over 10 years. Some have died. Some are dying even today and leaving this money behind. So Stokela Speaker ukuthi sicela usisite kulenza. Kukhona ke nami la kungifaka khona Speaker ngoba lesekula iphinze ithi anybody lotawuhamba ashiye le force after the effective date entitled kule mali on application. Lokusho ukuthi ngadikhethela mina ngeSpeaker lokuthi ngiyayiaplayela noma kwente kanjani but siyayicela le mali yethu siyisebente kabuhlungu. Lokubuye kube buhlungu kakhulu ke Speaker lokuthi laba labadzala they are already enjoying the money. I-salary review ya 2016 ibakhanze vele sebayidla ba reviewela leyo mali leyo and the junior officers they were reviewed on peanuts. Speaker, what I know here is that the Minister for Public Service will stand up and say, this issue have been incorporated in the salary review that is coming. Speaker, nebahlonishwa anginitshele kube clear ayikho into lenjalo. I've got a time to look at the terms of reference for the salary for the consultant. There is nothing that is talking about phase 2 of junior officers. There is absolutely nothing. In fact, it will never happen if we'll hear the minister saying this has been incorporated with consultant. There is nothing like that. And in the second place, there was never a consultant when phase 1 was implemented. Why now that it has to be implemented phase 2 sekuba ne consultant? So sitocela bahlonishwa ukuthi ngiyacela botsatseweni laba bomnakeni laba if they suffer you are suffering too. Ukuchaza ngani kuphala iphoyisa 20 rand emgwaqweni lihleke lijabula ngathi ulipha imali. These people are struggling. Please, let's do them a favor. If it is a favor. But what I know is what is entitled to them. Naingena iParliament, Prime Minister will leave umhlonishwa Ndvunankhulu uvakashele emaphoyisa ka4. Ukhulume ngendzaba la sikuma budget debates wathi phase 2 will be implemented this year. Sabiya kuma quarterly debates wathi phase 2 will be implemented this year. Wabuya waya senior officers conference wafika ukuthi phase 2 will be implemented this year. Yabuya i-portfolio committee led by umhlonishwa Mthongwaneni bafike bathi phase 2 will be implemented this year. Which is this year? Because nasibuka kude lokwenteka. So sitocela mhlonishwa Speaker ukuthi lenzaba seyiguge kakhulu. Sengiphetha bahlonishwa. Nangifunza lama terms of reference ale consultant. It's the report will have to be approved by the PS and the minister. Gimme nangabe le report ye consultant itawuphinza ibiyelele ku minister bayokuba bayithole labamvule mali. Number 2, ukukhuluma nge-joint negotiation forum la khulunywa amaholo khona. Junior officers are never represented there. The reason being they are not unionized. They are not expected, and under no circumstances they should be unionized. So how are they going to be represented? Bahlonishwa, there is no any amount of thing you can say that will convince me that they don't deserve this money. Please, Mhlonishwa Public Service, balambile babe. Please help them and save this nation. They are expected to fight corruption. How will they fight corruption when they are hungry? Cha angishele bahlonishwa, angihlele umshonhlwa khaba ko speaker siyabonga kakhulu speak.
Ngwanelo muhle ngenxa yesikhathi ihlelo Tasephalamende sashaya silibekela lo muhla lesethemba tulitfokotele kakhulu njengoba nathi sithokote kakhulu ukuhlasana nawe kanti lisekela lemcondziso inkulumo khona ePhalamende umhlonishwa amadala mhlanga uthi nakasekela endlini lehloniphekile leshukumiso waveta bomgcoba bekuthi uhulumende awabukete lamaholo njengoba umsebenzi wentwa ngiyo emalungu embutho wetekuvikela eveni ubandi futhi umgcoka kakhulu ekuphepheni kwalo live laseSwatini kanti nayo indvuna yetiko leti-70 tembuso umhlonishwa Mabulala Maseko bese uyacela endlini lehloniphekile kusemukela leshukumiso utawubese uyetfula endlini umbiko timbeni vetibhaliwe ngamalanga lasikhombisa kwalo muhle phinze uhlanganyele nathi evikini letako ngaso sikhathi lesifanako samkelisiwe khoza nalo lonke libandla kulethelo nahlelo Tasephalamende sithi busuku lobuhle ngwane.
The Deputy Prime Minister's Office, in collaboration with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security and its partners, bring you the Job and Entrepreneurship Expo for persons with disabilities under the theme Innovation for Inclusive Employment and Entrepreneurship. The Expo gives opportunities to persons with disabilities to market their academic professions, business skills, and also empowers them with information on how to start income-generating activities and venture into business.
Mina babakhubatekile ngabakhuthaza lokuthi niyangibona mina ngitendla kepha na mina umsebenzi wetandla ngiyakhona kuwenta sukumani.
It will be packed with inspiring industry leaders, potential employers, and entrepreneurs who are paving a way for a more inclusive future.
Ngithanda kumema eMaswati ikakhulu bona abantu abakhubatekile kuthi bete kuJob Fair yethu ya 2024 lesitabe sinayo ngoba yendelwe bona.
Don't miss out on this life-changing event on the 9th of October 2024 at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. live on Eswatini TV.
Nami naye ngibulala imbuko emhlaba ukuthi ngibe nguminister wetikwenkundla. Ngacala kakhulu nginalokuthi ngicala phi kodwa ngoba lamaswati ngweve kahle sibayeni nakakhuluma lo ukuthi akasiko happy at all ngema services leswanika wona nangendlela leswanika ngona ama services
abokhohlwa lokuthi uhulumende akusuye silwane umuntu lo lapha nguwe nami uhulumende kakhulu kunakulesuka kuko uyaphikiseka kunetipoko leti la ikhathi uhulumende letiqashiwe tiyahola baphikisa lo mgomo wahulumende
athi eMaswati ayafika ema-office ethu asikhanze sisethe incingweni sikhulume for a good 20 minutes eliswati limelambi kwakho litocela iservice nawucedza licingo lakho libeka phasi usukume yondiya liswati solo nimile lambi kwakho so asingabondini lokho colleagues it is their constitutional right
sonke sibheke ukuthi uma sisebende ngelizinga elisetulu kakhulu imedia ngiyo letawusita ukuthi umhlaba napho singakafinyeleli khona ukhanze ukuthi sekuyafikeka
ngicela kuhulumende nabo laba ka media nabo mane phela leliphakelo labo lithi kukhuphuka nathi singulumende simalungu ePhalamende siyakusekela lokho.
Thokotela luhlelo lwakho sive siyathuthuka njalo ngabo lesithathu nakushaye kwagabanca insimbi yesithupha entsambama. Luphindwa ngabo lesine ekuseni nakushaye insimbi yemfica.
10 o'clock on the dot. Good evening and welcome to the news. Brought to you by Eswatini TV. I'm Sanabo Ngwane. We're coming to you live from the Hospital Hill Studios in Babane. It's such a pleasure to have you. First, we begin here. Your headlines tonight. The Prime Minister will represent His Majesty King Eswatini III during the second session of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area in Rwanda. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Tingundla says the bill to operationalize Chapter 23 of the Constitution will close the gap in decentralizing services. And local business people from various sectors in the country have the opportunity to be trained on trading with Taiwan through digital platforms. Good evening. The news in detail will begin here. The Prime Minister, His Excellency Russell Miso Dlamini, will represent His Majesty King Eswatini III during the second session of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement in Rwanda. The Prime Minister jetted off to Rwanda through the King Eswatini III International Airport on Tuesday morning.
Sibika uhambo lesithatha kololuya event yase Rwanda lapho khona kunemhlangano baholi bemave nebaholi bahulumende bayokhulumisa indaba yokuthengiselana e-Africa yonke jikelele lokusho ukuthi African Common Free Trade Area umhlangano ongalokho sineke siyamela ingonyama khona njengomholi welive sihamba nje malanga namabili kuphela sibe sesibuyile ekhaya.
The business meeting will foster collaborations and innovation among entrepreneurs, driving economic growth and addressing pressing challenges in a rapidly evolving marketplace in Africa. The forum aims to empower entrepreneurs on the continent by providing access to resources, networking opportunities, and mentorship to enhance business growth. Intra-Africa trade has remained low at around 15% of total Africa trade, despite the potential of the Africa Free Continental Free Trade Area Agreement to harness the continent's market of 1.3 billion people and a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am LinkedIn Gude, KM3.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Tingundla, Nonhlanhla Dlamini, says the bill to operationalize Chapter 23 of the Constitution will help close the gap in decentralizing services. Dlamini was speaking during the consultations with the legislators of the Ministry of Housing and the Ministry of Tingundla's portfolio committees on the draft bill to operationalize Chapter 23 of the Constitution.
In the recent Sibaya, concerns regarding service delivery were prominently raised by Maswati. In light of these discussions, the Cabinet has approved the formation of a committee tasked with operationalizing Chapter 23 of the Constitution, which is aimed at enhancing local governance and development. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Tingundla, Nonhlanhla Dlamini, says Chapter 23 of the Constitution focuses on decentralization and the empowerment of local communities.
Hulumende ngekubona sidingeko sekuthi asale enda chapter 13 we constitution ukuthi asale asebenteka ukhethe sigejana sematiko lamane ukuthi asebente lo mthetho umthetho lesisiwe local government lo mthetho ke namuhla so draft stage litiko lamatiko lamane ke sekacale lo msebenzi we ku consulta nalabaphathekako kulo mthetho.
She says that the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development alongside the Ministry of Tingundla has been actively involved in drafting a bill that will bring this chapter into practical effect. Dlamini says this initiative is seen as a crucial step in addressing the pressing needs of communities and ensuring effective service delivery. Dlamini stated that this constitutional framework will enable Maswati to take charge of their